Welcome to Weirdaholics with Tiffany
and Nicole.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
I mean, we're recording a few days after Cinco de Mayo, but our intention was to have a recording for Cinco de Mayo on Cinco de Mayo, but we had a little too many margaritas.
Yeah, we had too much fun. Those margaritas were good though. But yeah, it was around like 3 a.m. and we're like, should we try recording? And yeah, it did not go well. So here we are.
But we had a fun time, Cinco de Mayo, made margaritas, homemade guacamole.
That shit was so good.
Yeah.
Guacamole.
Listened to merengue, watched a few episodes of stuff.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
It was great. I don't remember a lot of it, but yeah, it was great.
I was going to do Cinco de Mayo trivia, but it's not even Cinco de Mayo anymore, but we'll just do like one thing.
Yeah, do it. I love trivia. Actually, I kind of hate it, but it's fun.
It can be fun depending on if I know the answer or not.
Yeah, I'm just like really bad at it.
Yeah. If it's stuff I'm like a geek about, then I get so excited.
Yeah.
True or false, Cinco de Mayo is the celebration of Mexico's independence from Spain.
False.
Yay, good job. Yes, it's... Do you know what it is for?
I forgot.
It was basically, Cinco de Mayo was the battle for the town of Puebla, and it was an unexpected victory for the Mexican soldiers, which helped them win the war against French invaders.
Yeah.
So, weird ways that places like to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. In Vancouver, Canada, they have a tradition on Cinco de Mayo called skydiving boogie, and they have aerial acrobatics and an air show.
What the hell? Why?
I don't know.
Okay. Would you ever skydive?
Probably not. That seems too scary to be fun to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not like an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, I don't like free falling. Like, ugh. Makes me feel weird.
All right, next one. In Chandler, Arizona, they celebrate Cinco de Mayo with Chihuahua races.
Oh.
So the fastest Chihuahua receives a cash prize.
That's kind of cute. Unless they treat the Chihuahuas bad.
Like greyhounds?
Yeah, exactly. So if it's just like pet owners releasing Chihuahuas, then yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, I kind of want to look it up and watch it.
Yeah.
And then in the city of Longmont, Colorado, they celebrate with a Chihuahua beauty contest where they crown a king and queen Chihuahua.
Do they put makeup on the Chihuahuas?
I hope not.
That'd be so terrible. They probably just put on clothes. Maybe they like dye their fur too. I bet that happens.
I hope not. I hate when people dye their dog's fur.
Yeah.
Even if it's like eco-friendly or whatever. I don't know. I just still hate it.
Yeah. And then in Utah, we celebrate Cinco de Mayo by getting trashed and almost puking.
Well, that's like everywhere now, and that's actually a stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is in the 1980s, when beer companies targeted the Spanish-speaking population in their marketing campaigns, that's when the whole drinking during Cinco de Mayo thing happened, and so there's been a lot of backlash against that.
Yeah.
Like, it's creating stereotypes.
Like borderline offensive.
Yeah. Okay, continuing the Cinco de Mayo celebrations, this whole episode is going to be about Mexican folklore, and some of them are in more places than just Mexico, but they are prominent in some areas of Mexico, so it counts, right?
Yeah.
And remember to take a drink whenever we say weird. So first I'm going to start with the Huay Chivo. Huaychivo.
Oh.
There's a common saying in Yucatan, and I'm going to be mentioning Yucatan a lot. It's a southern peninsula of Mexico, and for some reason there's a lot of folklore there.
Ooh.
So we're going to be mentioning Yucatan a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a saying here that says, beware of walking after midnight in the places where the Huay Chivo goes, because this being of darkness can put all kinds of wickedness on you.
I want that sign outside of my house.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So during nighttime in the Yucatan region of Mexico, there's a terrifying half-man, half-beast creature with glowing red eyes.
Which half is which?
I will tell you. Just imagine, like, the typical, like, demon.
Yeah.
It's like, I think you can already imagine
upper half man, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. It dwells in the dark areas of forests and mountains, and at nighttime he stalks the villages to feed on their livestock. This is Huay Chivo, a creature of the night that originates from an old Yucatec Maya legend. The name Huay Chivo combines Spanish and Yucatec Mayan terms. So Huay means sorcerer or spirit in Yucatec Maya, and Chivo is a Spanish word for goat. So the Huay Chivo is a shape-shifting sorcerer, and through my research, it kind of reminds me a lot of skinwalkers.
Yeah. Shapeshifters are like the creepiest ones because they could like be anything.
Yeah, so creepy. And they usually have to do really, really evil ritual stuff in order to get to the point of shapeshifting.
Yeah.
So he can transform into many weird animal forms. A goat, jaguar, dog, deer, just to name a few.
What about a duck? A vampire duck.
If you were an evil sorcerer who sacrificed animals to the devil, I mean, would you want to be a duck?
Yes. And I'd bite people's feet.
And you'd have your spiral penis to attack ladies with. So the most common depiction of him nowadays is a half man, half goat. When he's in animal form, he's covered in thick black fur. He has the legs of a goat, a torso of a man, and the head and horns of a goat.
Oh.
So very much like the typical devil or...
Baphomet?
Yeah, Baphomet look.
Yeah.
He walks bipedal, so he walks on two hind legs. And he's usually about 4 to 6 feet tall. And I'm saying he a lot is because they say that only men are Huay Chivos.
That's what's wrong with the world today.
If only there was female Huay Chivos, things would be so much better.
I mean, with the torso of a woman?
Ooh.
Yeah.
And the legs of a goat?
Hubba hubba. What did you say? Hubba hubba, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. For many, many years, the Huay Chivo has been blamed for mysterious deaths of cattle, goats, and chickens. It's said that if you smell something weird and putrid in the air, then Nicole must be around.
Oh, yes. The rotten egg smell. Oh, yeah.
But also, the Huay Chivo is probably around.
I am a Huay Chivo.
Nah, you're a female, I think.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right.
If you feel a gust of cold air, that's also another sign that the Huay Chivo is nearby.
Yee.
So weird putrid smelling air and then a blast of that putrid smell in your face.
Yeah.
And if you see the Huay Chivo, look away immediately. If you look directly into its glowing red eyes, then you'll get sick with fever and discomfort. I don't really know what discomfort means, but...
It's just a little tummy ache. It's fine.
A lot of these websites I was getting information from were translated from Spanish.
Yeah.
Another thing they would say it's air sickness.
Oh.
So I guess it's just like you get sick.
Yeah.
Some kind of illness, disease, maybe.
Yeah.
So the sorcerer is able to shapeshift into this half-man, half-beast creature after he performs a dark ritual and sells his soul to the Kisin, and that is the Mayan god of death, kind of what we think of as the devil. It might actually be Kisin. Now, I don't know exactly how to do the dark ritual. There was a lot of like random stuff online and not very many details, but here's what I could figure out of how to do the ritual, in case you want to try it, you know.
Yes, I want to try it.
First, make a circle with black candles. Next, rip out the heart of a goat.
Oh, I don't want to do this anymore.
Step 2, I'm done. And drink its blood as an offering. And then pray the Padre Nuestro, which is the Lord's Prayer, 9 times. Very important, 9 times.
9 times, not 10. Not 8.5.
9. And then do 9 turns to the right and backwards.
Like
and
spins?
Yeah, spinning.
Well, I guess, yeah, that's turning.
And then at the last spin, the brujo, which is Spanish for witch, turns into a wind, whatever that means, which then forms into the Huay Chivo.
So it turns into a witch thing, and then it turns into the wind.
Well, no, the witch is them already. I mean, they are a witch.
Yeah.
Or a sorcerer or brujo.
Yeah, okay. And then it turns into the
Wind.
Huay Chivo.
And then the Huay Chivo
Yeah,
after
okay.
this ritual.
Okay.
Now, there's probably a lot more to the ritual, but that's all the information I could find.
Yeah. You have to spin around 9 times, wear red, and blink twice.
Wow, were you listening? Close. I also read that one weird part of the ritual is that the sorcerer must take off their head first and leave it in the house before he transforms.
Yeah, easy. Yeah.
Yeah. I bet that's more like symbolic. I don't know if they actually take off their head, but who knows? Maybe they do. Like a lot of these old weird folktale, like you never know.
You could do anything you put your heart to.
Yeah. Your
mind.
Do anything that you put the goat's heart to.
Yeah, exactly.
The heart of the goat that you just ripped out. Here's the legend of the Huay Chivo. So there was a young child who knew all about herbology, which is the study of plants and plant lore. When he was older, he became a sorcerer, and he fell in love with a young woman who cared for his family's goats. He was desperate for her love, so he decided to make a deal with the devil, or kissing. He sold his soul in order to become a goat so that he could be close to the young woman. But the spell didn't work, and instead he became a half-man, half-goat, only at night.
Oh, that's so sad.
So that's one version, and then here's another version of how the story really goes. So there was a handsome young man that lived in Mérida, Yucatan. Though he was handsome, hardworking, and intelligent, he was also from a poor family. Deal breaker.
So sad, yeah. Don't want a deadbeat boyfriend.
He fell in love with a beautiful young woman, but she belonged to a rich family, and she was in a higher social class. Her parents were merchants who owned a large hacienda, stocked with lots of cows and goats. He wanted to be with her, but he was denied due to his poor status. The young man was so upset by the rejection that he ran into the nearby jungle, yelling at the top of his lungs. In his rage, he called upon the devil. When the devil appeared in a puff of weird black smoke, he asked what he could do for the young man. The young man said he was willing to sell his soul if it meant that he could be near the woman that he loves. He'd do anything to be with her, even if it meant for eternity. The devil said that he could grant him this wish, and with a flourish of his hands, he turned the handsome young man into a goat.
He's like, hey!
The once young man, now half-goat, protested, saying, hey, this isn't what I wanted. I don't want to be a goat. But the devil shrugged and told him, all you wished was to be around that woman, and she owns goats, so, I turned you into a goat so you could join her goat herd and always be near her.
Sneaky little devil.
Sneaky.
Never make deals with the devil, kids.
Or at least be very specific.
Yes.
So in a weird way, the devil did indeed follow through on his end of the bargain. And at that, the devil left, laughing at his clever trick. To this day, the young man, now called Huay Chivo, runs around at night, killing farm animals in rage because he was tricked into becoming this creature.
Ugh, so sad. I feel like that's how a lot of these, lore creatures turn out, is they fall in love with this beautiful woman, and then something doesn't work out, or she dies or something, and then he's, angry or sad, and then he turns into this, weird creature.
And takes it out on the rest of us.
Yeah.
All right, here are some sighting stories. In a 2012 interview, a man told this story of Huay Chivo. Now, it's in his own words, and it's kind of all cropped together, so it sounds a little messy. You see if things at night over there. Creatures. They pass by. There are creatures, half animal, half man, Huay Chivos, and you cannot kill them. My grandfather told me once there were 3 men who tried to chase one down. They fired their rifles at it, but it just continued running. Then it turned around, paused, and looked at each one. The day after that, one of them passed away, and within the week, so did the other 2. When you see these things, you should wait to talk about them, at least a week, because the bad air will be better by then.
So you're not supposed to talk about them?
Not immediately after, at least,
Yeah.
but it's not good to talk about any of these things.
That's true, so it looks like we're gonna die tonight.
Or in a week.
Yeah. 7 days.
It's usually the 7 days. Here's the next story. In 2013, William May Amezquita told Reporteros Hoy, which is a Yucatan news service, about his weird experience with the Huay Chivo. William saw the creature when he was a little boy in the 1960s. He grew up in a neighborhood in the city of Mérida, Yucatan. Back then, the neighborhood was near the outskirts of town, and the local children would play in an area where there were caves near an old convent. Parents told their children to stay away from this area, especially at night, because there were strange creatures lurking about. One night, William was walking on a deserted road near the convent, and he heard something like the galloping of a horse. He turned around and came face to face with a weird animal heading straight toward him. It looked like a bull running upright on 2 legs. William jumped into some bushes on the side of the road to avoid being run over by the creature. Luckily, the creature ignored William and continued to run down the road. He told his mother about what had happened, and his mother said that he had an encounter with a Huay Chivo.
Where was the Huay Chivo going?
He was in a very...
He was just running.
Yeah, he was in a hurry for sure. I don't know.
He's like, the grocery store has like $5 off cheese. Gotta go.
That is the biggest mystery of the story, is where was it going?
Probably just to kill someone.
I mean, that's where I'd be going.
Yeah, I would run real fast to kill someone.
So that's it for the Huay Chivo.
Cool. It sounds like a skinwalker.
Yeah, it really does.
Really, really similar. I bet a skinwalker's still scarier, though. Like, I could probably handle a half-goat man, but a skinwalker just looks creepier.
A skinwalker is more full animal, but more like deformed kind of animal, but almost full animal.
Yeah.
So the next creature, I don't know what to call it. It's like an apparition.
Ooh.
The next apparition or creature type thing, whatever you want to call it, is called La Llorona.
Oh, I've heard of this.
This one's a really famous one, actually. So La Llorona is Spanish for the weeping woman, and it's been a part of the Southwest Hispanic culture since the conquistador days. The legend of La Llorona is traditionally told throughout Mexico, southwestern U.S., Central America, and northern South America, so it's in a lot of places. No one knows exactly where the legend began or where it originated, but there's some theories about her story being connected to some Aztec mythological creation stories or Greek mythology.
Ooh.
Because there's a lot of similar type of mythology throughout the world.
Yeah.
So there are many different versions of the story, but one popular version is that she was a beautiful peasant girl named Maria who lived in a small village. One day she saw a handsome, wealthy man, and it was love at first sight. They eventually got married and had 2 children. One day, Maria went for a walk in the village with her children when she saw her husband with a pretty young woman. That night, out of rage, she went to the river and drowned both her children.
Oh, poor babies.
When she calmed down and she realized what she did, she was overcome with such grief that she spent the rest of her days walking around the river crying loudly as she searched for her children, hoping they were still alive.
Oh.
She refused to eat, and she became so thin she looked like a walking skeleton. Soon after, she died on the riverbanks. In another version of the story, she actually just drowns herself right then and there after she murdered her children.
I probably would too, honestly. But I wouldn't drown my children in the first place.
I mean, you kind of give up your life if you drown your children.
Yeah.
Or kill your children.
Yeah.
You kind of just forfeit the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, Maria is now trapped in a weird state between the living and the spirit world. She's damned for all eternity, looking for her children. People who have seen her say she looks like a tall, thin young woman who wears a long white or black dress. She has long dark hair, and she wears a veil that covers the face. She's usually found walking around bodies of water, crying and screaming, "Ay, mis hijos, ¿dónde están mis hijos?" Which means, "Oh, my children, where are my children?"
Oh, this one's sad.
It is so sad. So parents will warn their kids not to go out after dark, for La Llorona might snatch them up and drag them into a watery grave.
Eee, that's so scary.
I mean, I'm going to tell my children that, keep them away from
I'm going to make
the water.
I'm going to make up so much shit for my kids, like, don't go outside and cross the road because the cars will eat you or something, or, there's, weird monsters everywhere. Murderers out in the world. I mean, there really is, but...
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be interesting figuring out which folklore I want to tell my kids. Because I don't want to, scare the shit out of them so that they stay up all night and keep me awake. Yeah. But at the same time, it's fun to have these folklore stories to pass down. And just a lot of them are really creepy, though.
You should do Krampus for sure.
Yeah, Krampus for sure, and the poop blog.
Yeah, that one's cute.
I actually want to do the poop blog.
Yeah.
But what are they called?
Kagatillo.
Kagatillo. I want to actually do that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So we have 2 sighting stories for La Llorona. First, it was in New Mexico in the 1930s. Patricio Lujan was a young boy in New Mexico. His family was having a normal day when they spotted a weird woman in a white dress near their property. They watched as she crossed the road near their house and headed for the nearby creek. The family realized something was wrong when she got to the water. They noticed that she looked like she was gliding rather than walking before she disappeared. The end.
She was on rollerblades.
She's just on rollerblades in a dress. Actually, that would look kind of cool.
Yeah.
But she suddenly reappeared again in another area at a distance that was way too far away for a normal person to glide.
To rollerblade.
To glide there that quickly, yeah, to rollerblade. When they investigated, they noticed as well that she didn't leave any footprints behind. Patricio and his family believed the woman they saw was La Llorona.
I'm spooked.
Good. Story number 2. This story, I don't have a name, but I got it from legendsofamerica.com. I was a student at Kansas State University in the early 1980s in Manhattan, Kansas. One evening, I went to a mobile home that I remember being near a creek or river. I was visiting a couple of my friends who were also attending K-State. As I entered the door, I found them sitting on the sofa, somewhat freaked out. They explained that one of the bar stools had been spinning and hopping around just moments earlier.
What the hell? Sounds like some Disney movie or something, like Beauty and the Beast, where the furniture
Just comes
starts
alive. It was much more malevolent than that,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. But I would also feel like, dang it, I miss everything. Like, if I walked in, I just missed that. I'm like, dang it.
Yeah, for real.
They invited me to stay the night in a spare bedroom, which I did. Later in the night, a woman appeared to me, lying beside me in bed. She asked if I knew where her children were. While I may have been dreaming, it seemed like I was at least half awake. Then I fully woke up and looked toward the doorway just in time to see a weird dark figure looking at me, and then quickly ducking back out of the doorway. It left me too scared to go check and see if it was one of my friends checking on me. I went back to sleep and waited until morning to ask them if either of them had looked into my room during the night. No one did.
Ew, that's creepy as shit.
That's way creepy. Especially a creepy old lady laying next to you at night asking where her children are.
Hey, where's my children?
I don't know, you should know, ma'am.
Yeah.
How would I know?
Oh, you mean Jane and Jimmy? Yeah, they're just down by the river.
I mean, you should say that and get rid of her.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe you should go look over there.
Yeah, go look at the grocery store.
Go look at my friend's room. He's down the
Oh,
hall.
that was good, yes.
So the next and last creature of Mexican folklore, this is called Alux. So it's spelled A-L-U-X, but a lot of the websites were telling me it's pronounced Alux. So we'll go with that. The plural in Mayan, it's, I don't even want to try to pronounce it, but it's like A-L-U-X-O apostrophe O-B. I'm really not sure how to say that.
Alux. Oh, that sounds like French or something. Alux.
Alux, maybe.
Yeah.
The easier plural for it is aluches, so I'll probably just say that. Okay. The alux is a small, mischievous creature in Mayan folklore in the Yucatan Peninsula, again in Yucatan. And it's also a folklore in certain places like Belize and Guatemala. So it's funny how many times we run into little people in folklore. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
So they're pretty small, about knee-high, and they're kind of like a weird dwarf-like creature, similar to a goblin, elf, or sprite. They live in nature around the Yucatan Peninsula, usually in jungles and caves, but they will move to other places if they're given enough offerings. Mm-hmm. So I feel like They might move into a village or near your home or your property if you give them enough offerings.
Yeah.
And
if I make them like a little house in my backyard, do you think they'll move in?
You are onto something. I will actually talk about that.
Ooh.
They're basically guardians of nature. They'll protect the jungle, woods, and farmers' crops. They're usually invisible, but when they do go visible, they're usually dressed in traditional Mayan clothing. And they'll usually become visible when they want to communicate with humans or play tricks on them. And they're very childish. They're easily pleased. Like I said, offerings. They just love that stuff. But they can be easily angered. They're very temperamental. For example, like if you call them by name, they will get pissed off at you.
Really?
Because it summons them, and they do not want to be summoned.
I
Just
feel
like
that.
a kid, like, you have to come inside. You know?
Yeah, well, if I'm in my room, I got so annoyed when my mom's like, Nicole, and I'm like, what?
And they're like, come here.
And I'm like, oh, and then they're like, hey, so do you want a sandwich? I'm like, you could have just like yelled that at me.
Yep, exactly like that. If you piss off an Alux, they will take on scary forms to frighten you. Like, here's some examples: white shadows, black shapes, and even weird creatures with red glowing eyes. Maybe the Huay Chivo is just a Alux in form.
They're kind of like shapeshifters too. They're animorphs.
They'll also mimic animal sounds or throw rocks at you and misplace things like tools. Aluxes were actually real to the ancient Mayan civilization. They weren't considered gods, but they were still given offerings for exchange of providing protection or assistance. And throughout the years, researchers have continued to find images of Aluxes in archaeological sites. So stories say that Aluxes will occasionally stop travelers on the road or paths in nature to ask them for an offering. And if you give them the offering, they'll protect you and they'll bring you good luck.
It's like, hey, give me all your money. Give me your wallet. Come on, I'll protect you.
Right?
It's like some meth head in the forest.
Yeah, that's not really fair. You can't just like stop people and tell them to give them something.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe little people can. They've earned the right somehow.
It's true.
But if you refuse to give them an offering, they will wreak havoc for the rest of your journey and even curse you with a weird illness.
Rude. That's overkill, buddy.
Should have given them an offering.
I'll give them my Cheetos.
I mean, they might like that.
Yeah.
That might be a good one. I don't know. I feel like typical offerings usually like something sweet. Honey, milk, tobacco, something like that might be really good.
Yeah. I'll carry a gallon of milk in my backpack. Just sloshing around back there.
You're like drinking the milk on your hike, but you make sure to leave a little bit of milk left in case you run into an Alux.
Like on Anchorman, he's like, it's so hot. He's like drinking milk.
So gross. Many travelers will leave offerings and ask for permission from the Alux as they're entering a place in nature just in case. So farmers can use Aluxes to bring them good luck to their farm. So just like you want to try out the ritual of becoming a Huay Chivo, here's the steps to bring an Alux onto your farm, okay?
Perfect.
First, you have to go to a shaman who uses mud and some of your blood to create a small clay Alux figure that will be bonded to you through the blood.
Already I'm out.
So far, I'm still in.
The blood? Nope.
After 7 weeks, the Alux's spirit is brought to life by the shaman's creation process in the clay figure. So the Alux is now a living spirit inside of this figure. The shaman gives it to you, and then you will place it inside of a katal Alux, which is a small house, like you mentioned.
Aww.
So you will want to build a special little small house for the Alux on your property, usually in a field. You have a little small house built for them, and then you put that cute little figure inside of the house.
It's like Polly Pockets or Barbies.
It's just a farmer's excuse to play dolls.
Yeah.
After that, the Alux will protect your farm for the next 7 years, as long as you stay on their good side and continue to make offerings. So maybe once a day, you go take some milk or honey or
tobacco.
Yeah, or tobacco, or, I just got this egg from my chicken. It's for you,
Aww. So to get on their bad side, you call them by a name.
You don't be respectful towards nature. You don't give them offerings. You basically don't take care of them or give offerings. Like, if you ignore them.
It's kind of like a whatever the little Tamagotchis.
Yeah. So it's like a little Tamagotchi you have to take care of. That's exactly what they're like. No. If the Alux is ignored or mistreated by the farmer at any point, they'll cause mischief and misfortune to the farm. After the 7 years ends, the door and the windows to the Alux home must be sealed off in order to trap the Alux inside. If the little house isn't sealed, then the Alux will escape and then cause all kinds of weird misfortunes and play tricks on people.
Oh, weird.
So it's only for like 7 years. Like, hey, this deal is only good for 7 years. After that, anything could happen.
Well, it's like if you break a mirror, you have bad luck for 7 years. Like, where does the number 7 come from?
Yeah. Angel numbers, I don't know.
Yeah. Or like the ring, 7 days.
Everything's a 7.
Yeah.
You're a 7.
7. 7 out of 7, baby.
So many farmers today will still practice this tradition to bring good luck to their farms. And you'll find many of these tiny homes throughout Mexico, especially in the Yucatan Peninsula. These homes will vary in size and shape and range from pyramids to arches, all kinds of little cute houses everywhere. Here's a very popular story, and it's about the Cancun-Nizuc Bridge. In the early 90s, when construction began on the bridge, the first 3 attempts to build the structure failed. A Mayan came to the site and told them that they had angered the Alux, and it would continue to wreak havoc on the site unless they appease him. So the construction workers decided to call in a Mayan shaman to assist them. The shaman performed a ritual to make a pact with the Aluxes. They also built a small house under the bridge and offered it as a gift. From that point on, the construction of the bridge was able to be completed without a problem. Coincidence?
I think not. Alux? I think it's an Alux, for sure.
It's an illusion.
Illusion.
So the next example of Aluxes wreaking havoc, and this is a really quick example, it was in 2010. Elton John's stage collapsed at Chichen Itza after organizers skipped the tradition of asking Aluxes for permission to hold a concert on the sacred ground.
Whoa! And yeah, Chichen Itza. You know what it is, right?
Chichen Itza?
Yeah.
Itza?
So it's old Mayan ruins.
Oh.
And it's I don't know if you've heard of like the one pyramid thing where you clap and it sounds like a bird
Weird.
Coming back. I'll have to show you a video of it. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense that they tried to ask permission and then his stage collapsed.
Yeah, it's a tradition to ask Aluxes for permission, but since Elton John didn't bother, well, at least his team of people or organizers, the organizers didn't ask for permission and the stage collapsed, killing 200 people.
Did it really?
No.
Oh, I was like,
I don't think anybody died, but...
But also, why would you try to put on a concert at this, like, it was, like, pretty sacred ground,
yeah, that's
too.
kind of, that's blasphemous.
It's pretty, white people, you know?
I mean, it is Elton John.
Yeah, not the whitest.
So that was kind of messed up.
Yeah, I'm on the side of the Aluxes on
Me
that
too.
one.
The last story. So this was in 2023.
Ooh! Wait. This year.
The president of Mexico, Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, went viral when he posted a weird picture of an alleged Alux on Twitter. He claimed that it was spotted by an engineer working on a rail project. The photo, taken at night, shows what may be a halo of hair and glowing eyes of a little person sitting on a branch. His description of the post was, I share 2 photos of our supervision of the Maya train works. One, taken by an engineer 3 days ago, apparently of an Alux. Another, by Diego Prieto, of a splendid pre-Hispanic sculpture in Ekbalam. Everything is mystical. End quote.
Ooh. Everything is mystical.
Yeah. Although it might be a joke, it's not clear if he was serious or not, if he really does believe the picture was of an Alux. But he did go viral, which I'm sure he's pleased about.
Oh,
or
yeah.
probably. It's, publicity.
Yeah.
Yeah. A few comments on the post even warned that the president should not have published the Alux photo without proper protocol. You're not supposed to call them out loud and accidentally summon them. And maybe all these people seeing this Alux photo and learning about Aluxes are summoning them. Who knows? 2, you need to ask permission. Can I share your photo, Alux? Okay, cool. 3, give offerings. You know, thanks for this photo. Here's some tobacco. You know, there's protocols in these things, Mexican president.
What if the Mexican president died this year? Coincidence? I think not. Also, that was not an assassination threat, so Mr. FBI, please don't come get me.
They're like, actually, we need someone to do that bidding for us.
Would be a shame if he were to disappear.
One commenter wrote on the post, "You need to ask permission and offer tobacco, wine, water, and honey following the ritual of our ancestors and the culture of our original peoples." Yeah, Mr. President.
Yeah, come on. You should know better.
I'll share a photo of his viral photo on our social media. Maybe we'll go viral.
I think we should ask permission.
Oh, wait. You know we should. It's like,
do we have honey?
Alux, can we share this photo that was shared of you?
Yeah.
That's been shared 5 million times by now.
Yeah, and we should get honey or cigarettes and put them next to the computer.
You just put them on the computer screen?
Yeah, dip the honey out onto the screen.
We'll figure out a way to give you an offering. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's what I have for you. So good job, Mexico. I love your creatures.
We love you, Mexico. Good old MX.
So thanks for listening, and check out our social media because I will post photos of these different creatures that we talked about today and the different folklore we talked about. If you want to support us, check us out, patreon.com/weirdaholics, where we'll have bonus stories, deleted scenes. We'd really appreciate any support, and thank you for those who have supported us.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to add?
No. Party on, Wayne.
Party on, Garth, and happy Cinco de Mayo.
Drink.